and gentlemen, welcome back to Podcast Juice here on Podcast Juice, and we're talking about some Prince today. That's right. My name is Michael Dean, and joining me today is Mr. Bigsexy and Sack. Sir, how are you?
Excuse me. I'm doing well. Got my latest dosage of Prince, and I'm feeling good.
All right. Also joining us is Mr. Antpooh. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm ripping and running. I got so much to get done, but I made time to listen to a album drop.
All right. Well, today we are going to be giving our thoughts on the new Prince release. Did something I haven't done in a while. It was actually go out. Well, I didn't actually go out and buy this, but I ordered it through Amazon. I went and bought the special edition version of this, and that's the one that came with the vinyl, which, God, is the first vinyl I've probably bought in damn near 20 years. Right? It's so crazy. I mean, back in the day, of course, used to have all the records, but I got the vinyl, and then it has the CD inside along with the, the booklet. And I will have to, let me say, and I'll do sort of like a video unboxing, and I may even edit it within this. This looks fabulous. Like, man, it's almost worth just buying this whole package unto itself. I just thought they did a really good job with this. It feels hefty. I realize now how much I miss the vinyl artwork, just that big cover. Like, I can't, it's almost, again, it's so far removed from having this, but it takes me back to being a kid where that's all we had was these, the huge cover, art where you can actually appreciate the artwork, and you open it up and it's got art inside and you pull out the sleeve. Man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and get back into vinyl. God damn. Like, I'm tripping, man. But anyway, we're here to talk about this release. Of course, you already know this is Prince alone at the piano in his home back in 1983. And he recorded this onto a cassette tape. I believe it was a TDK C60?
C60.
God, I used to sell those.
Old school, man.
Yeah. High bias or normal bias?
Oh, got to have high bias.
All of this is going right over my head.
Yeah, this is the golden days, man. This is, woo. But, so recorded on a cassette tape. I guess the story goes that I can't think of the guy's name right now. I think it was Michael Howe. He's the guy that he's the archivist for the estate. And he says he had known about this recording because he had heard of it, from the bootleg days as well. And so I think he made a point to try and go and find this within the vault, and said he found the cassette. They actually found the cassette, and they were, like, yo, we should put this out. Of course, there's been, I'm not going to say a lot, but there has been some talk among, super fans and hardcore Prince fans about, whether or not they should have put this out because it was on bootlegs before. I'll tell you right now where I stand. I remember hearing bits and pieces of this many years ago, but the sound quality was just as such where I may have listened to it a few times and didn't pay too much attention to it. This right here sounds excellent. I'm glad they put this out. This makes me want them to go and actually go take other prominently known bootleg stuff and put them out. The jackback, the bootleg on the bootleg. Because I'll say this, I think that this is a brilliant jackback. I think this is a brilliant release. I like the packaging of it. I love that they went and got Jill Jones and had her give her thoughts because she was around during this time. I can't remember, and I don't remember exactly if she said she was, I don't think she was there during this particular recording, but there through other recordings such as this at his house. And the ironicness is not lost on me. The word is Jill Jones is banned from Paisley Park, but she's not banned from helping out them making their paper. Is what it is.
That's right.
But
Wow.
But shout out to Jill Jones. But I love that they got Elisa Coleman. They brought her in to give her thoughts on this, and Don Batts. Excuse me, sorry, sir. Don Batts, the engineer, gave his thoughts and stuff, and they have the liner notes. I love that they did that. You know, that's to me going back to the people that were there during that time so they could give you what they thought and what they saw and observed so you can appreciate this piece of art, right? So love that they did that. And it was, like I said, I want them now to be able to go back and do some of those other things that I've always been like, if they wanted to say, you know what, let's go get that birthday show.
Yes.
You know, the one at First Avenue.
Yes.
Right before, you know, right? I think When Doves Cry was out, but Purple Rain hadn't dropped yet. Listen, I done bumped that to death. I would buy that in a heartbeat if they was to release that officially, because I think it's a dope ass show. I think more people need to hear it. So I'm all on board. And if you're on the side of why I already had that before, well then hey, you keep doing the bootleg thing. That's cool. But I'm putting my money on the table so that things can keep going. And lastly, I'll say this. I'm on my sermon, so when I say lastly, I probably got more. But I'll say this. I was at Barnes.
Was yours in the collection plate around again?
Yeah, I was at Barnes and Nobles yesterday. And I was tripping. They had the vinyl prominently displayed, right? I was like, oh, okay. But I heard like some people, I was standing in line at the Starbucks inside Barnes and Noble, so that gives me somewhat of a pass. Anyway.
No.
Nice try.
But I heard people was like, oh, yeah, you hear that new Prince record or blah, blah, blah. And I heard one dude, he was kind of like, he was trying to sound like he was an expert. And I was like, oh, let me listen. And I was ear hustling. He's like, yeah. I heard some of it on the radio, man. It's really good, man. It's just him, you know, on a tape recorder, man. And the other guy was like, oh, really? Are these older songs? He's like, yeah, there's some old stuff, but there's some new ones on there, man. And I was like, people's legitly out here talking about this, like interested. I just thought that was so dope, man. I was like, you know, to me, mission accomplished, right? Is getting Prince's music out there to people and they're actually aware of it. And like the conversation is like, yo, this is good stuff, you know. And you know, kind of, I can see how they're framing Prince in like, you know, of course they didn't do this when he was alive, but yo, this dude is special. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like it was just hearing people that obviously weren't hardcore fans talking about it and they had respect for it. Like, you should check this out. And lastly, I would say, one of my coworkers, I think they played one of the songs on the radio or whatever. And he was like, man, I didn't know Prince played the piano. He was like, I heard it and it bugged me out. I didn't know he played piano. I said, yeah, man, like that was his first instrument. He said, I just always thought of him as a guitar dude. He was like, it was really good. I was like, yeah, man, dude is the shit. Like you should check it out. You know, he's like, I might, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool that he's still relevant. It's just, you know, people are recognizing him for his talents, which is what we was always talking about. So to me, I think the release, even, I'm not even dealing with the sales or anything like that, just on the awareness and the respect of just putting out the music as it is. You don't have to change up what he did. The fact that you can take at home playing by himself and that's good enough to be released. Like, just shows the magnitude of his talent. And to me, this release is a great illustration of, like, look at somebody that's great, man. Like, even at his just practice, you know, even his rehearsal is worthy of you listening to it. And you can hear, like, just that greatness in him on such a natural level. He's not trying to perform for nobody. He's just performing for himself, which I think is cool. And I think for other musicians, man, like to just be able to like, yo, look at this guy, man. Like, this ain't even for show. This is just at the home practice. And a lot of times we don't like to practice our art, you know, whatever it is. But look how serious he took his practice. And like, he was going deep in certain things and pulling out, you know what I'm saying, a real soulful. And so it just goes to show we could all, like, man, do practice our works. You know, and look what happens when you do practice your works. You'll become so good when even your practice could be your blessing. You know what I'm saying? Could be the thing that it make you some money or is notoriety. Is just as good as when you went to work, right? So what I'm saying is like, even you go to your job, you get paid, right? You always gotta be on point. Oh, okay, the man's watching. Man, get that paper, da da da. But sometimes when we be at our own stuff, we just do a luck laster. I'll just throw this shit together. It's just for myself. I'll write a little bit of this, or I get this podcast together. Let me just run. I ain't even gonna really try. And But my man, he was putting in 120% on the off time. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, to me, I think you could, study the game that Prince is doing. But like, you know what? Let me put in full 450% at all times so I can be great. Anyway, hopefully you can surmise from all of that I love this release. So I'm all in. Big, Sexy, and Sack. What did you think about this?
Well, like yourself, I went all in from day one when this was announced. I saw that there was a special edition, CD with the 180-gram vinyl. And recently, with the last year or so, I had tried to get back into vinyl, bought a new turntable, and I still, dabble with vinyl. I'm like, okay, that's me. That's what we're going to go with. And then after that, I heard that they released the Mary Don't You Weep, single. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. I wanted to hear it all at the same time. I didn't want to do this piecemeal. Then the video comes out. Haven't seen it. Don't want to hear it. And so I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, okay, this weekend it's on. I'm checking my Amazon. It's going to be here yesterday. Let's do this. And then Mike said something the other night in passing that got me thinking. I'm like, well, let me double check on HD Tracks, see if they have it up. And they had it up on Thursday night. And I'm like, okay, here we go, high resolution. And then Mike, of course, took the air out of me. He's all, you're going to get a lot of tape hits there, man, because it's just a boombox. Like, damn. But I went ahead and downloaded it anyway because I wanted this in every possible highest fidelity I could get it. So I got the high resolution download. It is in 24-bit, but it's still only 44.1 sampling rate like regular CD. And I got it and I fired it up on my new tube amp system that a client gave me. And I'm like, yes, take me to the next phase. The minute I heard 17 Days, which was a B-side, people seem to forget that. I'm like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. And as he goes through the entire thing, my first thing was, this is great. My second thing is like, damn, half an hour? Come on, man, damn. And a lot of people have said, this is a bootleg and it's been around for a while. I've never heard of it. So when I heard Wednesday and Cold Coffee and Cocaine and Why the Butterflies, I never heard these before. And I'm just sitting there listening. I'm like, wow. The guy, and again, let's picture when this is. This may have been while he was filming Purple Rain, but Purple Rain definitely wasn't out yet. He wasn't really that guy yet. He had made noise in 1999, and he's just sitting at the place, just cooling, tinkering, putting together ideas. Man, it's like a glimpse into the workings of a Mozart or someone like that. It's amazing. And I'm with Mike on this one. If they take all these old bootlegs out there, clean them up and do them like this, my money's on the table. Let's go. Let's get this on. But one more thing, Amazon has to get the gas face because my LP is not here yet. Yesterday was the 21st. And if it wasn't for HD Tracks, I would be pissed off. Oh, don't get me started. But again, I bought the vinyl because it's 180 grams, so it's got the theoretically higher sound quality, but I bought it for the liner notes. That's what I miss the most about vinyl. And when Mike was talking about, Jill Jones and Don Batts, I don't know because I have no liner notes because my vinyl ain't here. So Amazon, what the hell?
Yeah, and I won't spoil it, but yeah, it's definitely worth it, man, because it's a pull-out booklet. The size of the vinyl, and yeah, it's great, man. It's that kind of care that you want to see with a Prince thing. Like you miss that. Like, man, okay, get the extra stuff.
It's funny because one more thing, when you have fans of like a Bob Dylan, for instance, who's doing a a similar thing, or has been doing a similar thing, called the bootleg series. I didn't really understand the utility of the impact for it. Now I do, because if Dylan fans, and I got no reason to think otherwise, are like we are, we hardcores, they must eat that up, and just like we are. So the more this type of thing we can get, the more I know we hardcores will support it. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned the Mary Don't You Weep video. We won't go all into that, but I thought, wow, what a powerful, that's a heavy video. When you do watch it, I was amazed they went in that direction personally. But, I'm all in. I'm all for it. But it was a heavy video, man. I'm very curious what the reception from some of the fan base will be, because it, in my opinion, it deals with the Black Death, and sometimes people don't like to see not even just Prince's music, but anybody that they really like. They don't want to deal with sometimes like any politics or any sort of racial type of thing. And so I'm curious how some people would take that video. He wasn't about this, or he was, but so I don't know. But that was a very powerful video. I think we saw off the line that there was maybe some issues with the family. Take on
not
that
liking
video.
the video.
I don't. I'm watching it. I'm curious why if that is true, why that was. I thought the video was really good. I just I thought it was a heavy video, but I think the song sort of really fits into that, and it reminds me of when watching the Klansman and when the music was playing, and that was heavy at that time to me too. And just again, man, it's not whether or not his intention performing that song at that particular time was that his performance of that song is so wrenching to me. Like, it just goes to show how this guy can go from, because at the beginning of this album, you can hear he's on his God, it's like he's having fun, right? That's that Prince, that's that dude. But obviously he can flow with the movements of this music and then get into some very soulful, gospel, fucking gut wrenching type performance, man. And then go at the end, jump right back into some Jamie Starr, time type stuff. I mean, just even this 30 minutes takes you through so much stuff emotionally. I thought it was very interesting. But let me put on because I'm on my Kanye right now. I can feel something in my spirit that Antpooh's about to say. So let me get in the Prince word. Go ahead, sir. Let me hear your opinion of this.
Oh my God! Wow, where to begin? For me, I guess I'll touch on two things. One, the actual. What we hear, what I like about it, yes, there's that hissing sound, but it really just comes off very raw to me. That this, we understand that this was not supposed to be a commercially released album. So hearing the little touches of, you can actually, hearing how he's playing the piano, hearing his movement and things of that nature that gets picked up on the mic. It just seems like you're getting an unauthorized look into Prince playing. Now, I don't know, this was a rehearsal or it's just him playing around on the piano, but it just seems this is just something raw that he was doing. The other thing is, as I go through the albums, as I go through the song, it just seems very intimate. And I really like that. Part of me, I kind of was on the train of, well, why you have to release this? I mean, this doesn't seem that special. It doesn't seem it warrants a album release, this big marketing push behind it. But once I listened to the song, 17 Days, A Case of You, International Lover, and Purple Rain, and so on and so forth. Songs that I've heard before, even a song I hadn't heard before with Wednesday. And I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place, but yes, I had not heard this at all. This might have been a bootleg. Well, unfortunately, I guess I don't have the right friends because it sure didn't make its way to my inbox. You know,
and look at me. I didn't have it either.
And I'm talking to Miss Darling.
Damn, just go ahead and just out everybody.
Just airing people out.
Go ahead, Kanye.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I don't know if she got
Kobe.
it. But I'm sure she does. Like,
Kobe, Antpooh. Continue.
Whatever.
Continue.
But yeah, so hearing it for the first time and the songs, it kind of really it touched me in the bit, you know.
Wait, did you say it touched you in the bed? What did you say?
I said a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not saying I was bawling my eyes out and crying, but you know, yeah, my eyes kind of got watered because you know it had been a while. And that's the thing. It's like it really hit me that Prince is dead. I know he's been dead for 2 years, but having this release and for me being such an intimate and raw recording, it really kind of got to me like, damn, this man is gone. And as much as I feel like I want other stuff out of the vault, they did an excellent job with selecting this because I think they might have done it for what is bringing out in me the emotions that, damn, he's gone. And here's one of those rare looks. I mean, we're probably not going to get a really great, and please forgive me for deviating, we're not going to get a really great film or a really great memoir or autobiography, especially now that he's dead. So maybe the way that we can get to know Prince, that, you know, beyond what he gave us in his videos and his music, is through his music, because the way that he was singing these songs, the way he was playing on the piano, you start off with him saying, "Is that my echo?" Kind of like, oh yeah, you know, for some of us that have listened to some of his rehearsals, you're like, oh, there's that playful side of him being at a musicianship. But then when he gets to playing, you're like, that's a skilled mofo. And then the way he starts singing, you feel, for me, I felt a little hurt, a little emotion in the way he was singing that, you know, it got to me. So as much as I wanted something else, I can admit I was wrong, and this is an excellent release. I ain't paying for the vinyl though. I mean, what am I gonna play it on?
No, I have no record player either. I just got it for the game. I got it for the game. I'm gonna get one. But no, I respect everything you said, man. I agree pretty much wholeheartedly. It is an emotional piece of work when you listen to it, and you spoke on it right. Like, you remind you, like, this guy is not here, man. Like, we lost a real one. Like, listen to this. Like, this is, and I think, man, over time, you know, I'm not trying to blow it up too much, but I think this is one of those kind of releases that I think maybe like 10 years from now, it'd be sort of like a classic. Like, people are like, yeah, you hear. Yeah, you got to have the Prince, the hits and the 80s and the 90s and blah, blah, blah. But man, that one joint where it's just him on the piano, like that early Prince, yo, man, you put that on and just turn the lights out. Yo, that's one of them, you know what I mean? I could see it being one of those like classic type, yeah, Mary Don't You Weep or Butterfly, you know, Why the Butterfly? Yeah, man, you put that on, man. Yeah. It's going down. Oh man, you got your young girls coming. You might have the older cats. Young buck, let me holler at you for me. You got the girl coming over. Listen, go ahead and play this track right here. International Lover. This cat named Prince is on the piano. Yeah, man, you gonna get in there. Gonna set the mood for you. Go on and put that on. You know what I mean? I could see that this could be seen like that. Just because, again, you can't deny his playing. You can talk about I shouldn't have put this out, or it's, you know, the 90s or the 80s, or but it's just when you get down to the actual playing and his what he does, it's timeless. And this is a timeless. When you just listen to the cat, it's timeless. It don't matter what time you pull from, but when you get that like you said, that intimate sound and stuff, and he's just raw in here because he ain't trying to play like knowing that it's gonna be release, I'm just playing, I just love when he be getting into it, when he be making all the, you can, like, he be getting in that groove and start the muscle. Yeah, that's that nagging right there. Like, and that's that real stuff right there. So yeah, man, piano on a microphone, 83. Solid, man. Yeah.
Now here's the take where
Go
I
ahead.
think I might lose people is that the last time I really felt, and then you might agree with it, the last time this reminded me of, and I really felt like, damn, that dude is gone, was the Michael Jackson release. I can't think of the album title, the one where Love Never Felt as Good. Escape, yeah. But they had the actual demos where he was just on the piano.
Yeah.
That was the one where you felt you was hearing him being playful and getting his music together and him being raw and singing, and that's what this kind of remind me of. And I understand I might be blasphemous.
No, actually I feel you 100%. On that particular song, that's the version of the song that I play. I don't even play none of the other stuff, but that one was just Mike. You can just hear him singing. And the cat playing the piano, that's pure golden, man. Actually, I agree with you 100%. Now that you say that, it totally reminds me of that same type of thing.
Yeah, that whole. I mean, I don't know if you remember any of the other songs, but the whole second half of the album where it was him in the studio with the piano, that was just as good as this. I hope that wasn't the marketing behind it. It's like we can elicit that same energy, but it worked. Because I felt the same way. Now,
you lost me. You said there's a whole album of him doing that? I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Escape, there's what they released, and then they have the original. There's actually 3 versions on that album of Love Never Felt Like This. I can't remember.
Oh, you mean it's just the one song, not other songs?
No, it's other songs. All the others, most of them all are on there. Yeah, the deluxe version.
Shit, let me go and get this. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I just know love never felt so good. That's woo. Mike is cold. But anyway, we'll stay focused. I gotta check that out. I didn't know that. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Any last words on this release, man?
I would like to implore the Prince fans, don't hate on this. Don't. I mean, there may be some rhyme and reason, because if you got me and Mr. Podcast Juice himself getting emotional behind this album release, Michael Dean knows what he's talking about. And if he's co-signing this, go listen to that album. And I understand that, people have problems with the estate, but whoever worked on getting this out, they did the damn thing.
Co-sign that completely. And the thing is, what's there to hate on? Nothing. There's nothing to hate on this. It is, going in what you're getting. You're getting, a genius, and that word is so reused nowadays. Kanye, I'm looking at you. But you get a genius tinkering and creating in his element. And it's amazing. So there's nothing to hate on this. This is art at its finest.
Yeah, man. And listen, beating a dead horse, but if you can go and support the unofficial versions, it's your duty to support the official version. Like, like, how you gonna put money in the pot then? You have to support what they got going on. You support Prince. So, if I can ride with the bootleg, then I gotta. That's why I said, listen, do small club. I don't give a damn. Like, I think that is a dope ass performance. It's a classic to us. We always want other people outside of the circle to know about these other classic performances. Why? So yeah, they should take small club. That should be another one where it's like, yo, you want to hear Prince unleashed, doing classics like Just My Imagination. And yeah, we already had that, but so what? They haven't. The world ain't had that. And that should be heard by everybody. So that's the same way I feel with this. Prince is great, man. This is a great performance. The world should hear about this. And I like that they put it out and they didn't tinker with it. And they took the care to go get the people who was around to do the liner notes. That's the way it's supposed to be done. So bring on the next one. On to the next. I'm ready I'm ready to go. I got this what I will be buying. I love all the merchandise and all that. That's great. I want that music. So keep it rolling. I tip my hat to them. I ain't into politics, but the music, I'm here for it. So this was great. I support it. All right. We want to hear what you, the listener, think. Even if you don't agree, we want to hear that too. You know, you think they should have did something different? Let that be known. It is what it is. I will say this though. Be on code with some print shit. If you don't gotta like it, but go on and buy it anyway. You're supposed to, if you're supposed to be about, you're about that life, you're about supporting the Prince. Yeah, you could say, yeah, I don't really care for this. I should have put that out. But to show that I'm part of this, I'm Team Prince. I'm on code. I'm gonna buy it anyway. How about that? You buy everything else. So I really, I say you still need to support it. However you need to support that. But with that said, we're about to get up out of here. This we listen. We didn't even go all day long. We kept it short and concise, right? Big, Sexy, and Sack. Where can people find you online in case they're gonna send you cease and desist or happiness?
Well, damn. I can be found on Twitter under WSE Mark, and by the way, on Twitter, picked up a new follower today. The actor Jeremy Piven, who's under a lot of fire lately, but
maybe he needs representation.
Hey, you never know. He's following me now. And over on Facebook under Mark Wiggins.
All right, Antpooh.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Antpooh. I need all the Prince fans to head over to Twitter and Instagram and hit that follow. Need to get my follower count up. And shout out to Jackie Thompson.
All right. Yeah, of course. Shout out to Jackie Thompson. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us at Podcast Juice on Twitter. Of course, on Facebook, Podcast Juice. Or you can find me personally at MDean on Twitter. Listen, if you haven't already, please bless our Patreon page. And let me say this. Thank you to everyone who was a part of that. Really much appreciated. But if you can, jump on over there and check out what we got going on over there. And also, like I say, shout out to the whole Podcast Juice team out there doing their thing. And hey, working like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.